Ladies and gentlemen, UFC Fight Night, Ian Machado, Garry versus Prates in Kansas City, Missouri just wrapped up last night. We're going to be starting with the early prelims and ending with the main event, going through a breakdown of every single fight on the card. Let's get down and dirty. Jocelyn Edwards versus Chelsea Chandler. I did pick Chelsea Chandler. I did think she was going to be able to utilize the grappling, maybe get into a clinch, maybe try to force Edwards down to the ground. Instead, she eats prompt left hooks and right hooks, doesn't really do anything to throw anything back, just kind of walks forward into all of the shots. Jocelyn Edwards looks better than I've ever seen her look before in my life. The lady from Panama just kind of puts Chandler out with some clean hooks. Chandler ate one, didn't like it, didn't even throw anything back, just kind of held up against the cage and just let Edwards piece her up and drop her to the floor. It wasn't really a good show of effort from Chandler, but I'm sure it doesn't really matter. We won't see her in the UFC anymore. I do believe she had the gloves off when the call was made for Edwards. I do believe she retired in the octagon at 6-4. You might as well. You made it to the UFC. That's as best as you're going to get. You are on the downfall only from now on. Next on the prelims, Timmy Kawumba versus Roberto Romero. Now, I did pick Timmy Kawumba to get a late TKO stoppage over Roberto Romero. It is what happened. I mean, Romero in the first round was looking okay. Timmy Kawumba was getting tagged up a little bit. Again, Romero forcing in the pressure and in the face of Timmy Kawumba. Kawumba, like I said, against Lucas Almeida, he didn't do well when Almeida was just forcing the pressure the whole time. Almeida didn't gas until late in the third round. Kawumba wasn't really able to win any of those rounds. He was getting forced up against the cage kind of the whole time. Kawumba was moving very little, if not at all. He didn't really get anything started in that fight, but against Roberto Romero, he was able to utilize that boxing. He was just a little bit quicker when it came down the stretch, and Roberto Romero was starting to get tagged late in the second round. Ate a nice left hook, or a right hook, whatever it was, that staggered him. Ate a high kick directly after, and then only 15 seconds later, ate a flying knee and got put down and out. It was, I guess some people were saying it was a late stoppage. When you eat punishment like that, the ref does have to take into consideration that you are taking a large amount of damage and not really throwing anything back. Romero was walking towards Kawumba after getting knocked out, but again, if he stood up and walked towards Kawumba, was Kawumba just going to put another head kick on him? Was he just going to put him back down? Was he just going to hit him with a 1-2 and put Romero out completely cold, like what happened later in the night with another fighter? You can't take the risk. The stoppage, in my opinion, was right, and Roberto Romero goes out to Timmy Kawumba inside the second round. Again, a late TKO stoppage. We did call that one. That was the first best bet of the evening. Oh, no, it wasn't. I think this next one was Jacqueline Amorim versus Poliana Viana. I believe Kawumba was an honorable mention. We had Jacqueline Amorim via finish. It was just very clear Poliana Viana is not UFC material. She looked very good for this weigh-in as well. She looked jacked. She looked bigger than I think I've ever seen her look in any of her other fights. She just doesn't really belong in the UFC. It's just it's a skill issue, realistically. Jacqueline Amorim has one of the fastest submissions inside strawweight. Is that what it is? Strawweight? Yeah. Against Corey McKenna, round one armbar. In this situation, she could have got it against Poliana, to be completely honest. She got that takedown really, really quick inside the first round. Vienna looked completely lost on the ground, and it kind of looked like Amorim was just looking to pad her record with a KO, because she did have the armbar position. She did have the Kimura position. She had a head and arm choke she could have went for. She had anything that she really wanted on the ground. Instead, she chose to try and batter Vienna, try and get her to quit. Unfortunately, she did not get the TKO that it looked like she was looking for. Inside the second round, though, gets a quick takedown and just works the submission right away and gets it instantly. It was very clear that she could get it whenever she wanted. She was just kind of seeing what she could do, kind of keeping Vienna in there just to play around like a fucking ragdoll, I guess. But once again, Poliana Viana does not win. And she's out of the UFC, man. She has to be. She's one of those fighters that only has finishes on her record, no decision wins, but she hasn't got any good wins against any good opponents. We're just padding her record with a bunch of bumps. Jacqueline Amorim is not that. Jacqueline Amorim showed her what's up, and Poliana Viana, honestly, she should be out of the flyweight division at this point. Next on the prelims, Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Simon. You kind of knew how this one was going to go. Cameron Simon's open to counters consistently, moves forward with his hands down sometimes, throws a 1-2, and when he throws the 2, leaves that, I guess he's orthodox, so he leaves that left hand down. It's kind of a problem. It leaves the hook open, and Malcolm Wellmaker was looking for it literally the whole time. He was throwing his left like the whole time and just waiting for it. Cameron walked into a clean right hook and gets dropped. And that was it. That was all she wrote. It wasn't even like get tagged and like try and move around. It was get tagged and just sit there. You're out. It was a really good win for Malcolm Wellmaker. A really good win for the new UFC newcomer who's just trying to make, you know, a huge, I don't know, like a huge honorable welcoming to the octagon, if you could say. It's just he came out with the pressure. He came out with the perfect power. This was the punch that landed on Cameron Simon that put him out. Snapped his head all the way back. Fantastic work from Malcolm Wellmaker. Hopefully we see him again soon. Next on the prelims, Damon Blackshear versus Alatong Haley. Now, holy shit, what did I watch here? Damon Blackshear had a stand-up war with Alatong Haley. Blackshear should have finished this guy 6 times over. Of course, this is all of the bets. This is all of the parlays right here. This is like everyone that texted me that wanted bets. This was it. This was the last bet right here. Damon Blackshear inside distance, and we lose. We lose because Damon Blackshear chooses to ego strike with Alatong Haley instead of just ripping him to the ground and forcing a takedown and submission. Now, Damon Blackshear's corner, the whole fight screaming at him, wrestle, wrestle, wrestle. End of the second round. Wrestle. End of the third round. Hey, we've won. Wrestle. Try and finish him. Nothing. Damon didn't even listen. He didn't hear his coaches. He just kind of looked at him and said, shut up. Beat him in the head. Fucking smack him in the head. Yeah, Alatong Haley eating those shots. It was a terrible stand-up fight. Really boring to watch. Alatong Haley, again, just not high-level competition, man. Got salt and pepper hair as a Chinese man. You don't really see that too often at 33 years of age. He kind of is slowing down a bit, it seems. Damon Blackshear, inside that third round, was getting tagged up a little bit. Alatong Haley was walking forward, man. Damon really should have been able to take him out and put him down. I don't really see how Alatong Haley even stood in there that long. Damon Blackshear is a pitiful striker. It looks fucking terrible. Against Cody Gibson, it looked absolutely horrendous. But that's where the wrestling comes in. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to use the wrestling against Alatong Haley. I guess he didn't feel like Alatong Haley posed that much of a threat. I guess if maybe Haley was a bit better of a fighter, we would have seen some grappling. But instead, we got a boring decision. It is what it is. But Damon Blackshear gets it done. That was the second lock of the week. Next on the prelims, Chris Gutierrez versus John Sexy Mexi Castaneda. Now, we did pick Chris Gutierrez to get a split decision. Not split, but I just read split. A decision. It just kind of seems in this instance that John Castaneda doesn't really have the takedown threat that guys are super worried about. Chris Gutierrez did get taken down, but it was more of his own doing. He just kind of slipped on a kick and fell back on his ass, and John Castaneda took advantage of it. Against Kwong Lee, it happened to Chris Gutierrez too, I believe, where he got taken down once. In this situation, dude, it was kind of obvious Chris was going to get either a long decision or a TKO via leg kicks. John Castaneda leaves his leg out there all the time. Chris Gutierrez was chopping it up instantly. If you watch that first 2 minutes of the first round of this fight, you will see John Castaneda moving quite well. You will see him moving in and out quite well. You will see him using that octagon as a weapon, like moving around, using really, really good technique. He gets leg kicked a couple times, stops moving as well, starts hopping on the leg every couple times he has to move, gets kicked more. You know, can't really stand on the leg anymore. We get to later in the fight, he just can't push off the foot, can't shoot. He has no power. Like, it's just all gone. Chris Gutierrez just chopped him from down up like a tree. Just beat the shit out of him. Jab was good. Chris Gutierrez using that Muay Thai, nasty. Really, really good kickboxing from Chris Gutierrez. I really, really would have liked to maybe see him go for that leg kick TKO. It did look like John was hurt. Looked like that leg was beaten up. I did not think John won that first 2 rounds. John got a late takedown again in the first round after eating some damage. Didn't think it was enough. He didn't really utilize the ground and pound. Second round was clearly Chris. Third round you could give John, I guess, but you know, I would have given it to Chris. Damage, bro, damage. That's all I got for you guys. All right, next on the prelims, Evan Elder versus Gage G Money Young. We did pick Gage Young as an honorable mention for the best bets. He did lose via 30-27 unanimous decision. It kind of seemed like one of these instances when guys get into the UFC, they're a little bit starstruck. The lights go on them and they don't know exactly what to do. This kind of seemed like what happened with Gage. Gage just really did not seem like the type of guy that was going to go in there and just kind of stare at Evan Elder. It didn't really seem like it. It seemed like Gage was game. It looked like he wanted to go in and just, you know, fuck dudes up and just torch guys. Now, these two did used to be training partners. Perhaps that had something to do with it. Evan Elder beat the shit out of him. He didn't let Gage get started. Every single time Gage tried to throw a 1-2, Evan would throw an overhand, start a little combination of his own, and it was something that would let Evan back up. And when Gage tried to cut off the cage again, another overhand would come and another left hand, and Gage could never get in. He never could start. He never really utilized the kicks. Never really tried to, throw extended combinations when Evan was cut against the cage. He'd only throw a 1 or a 2, or a 1-2-3 maybe. There's no 1-2, 1-2-3, 1-2-3-4. Like, there's none of that. There's no like consistent combinations. Gage really didn't follow up as much as he should have. I feel like he could have caught Evan at the end there. Evan was breathing quite heavy inside that second and third round. Gage giving him a little bit too much time to breathe. Oh my god, with the yawning, bro. I would have liked to see Gage just kind of force the pressure a little bit more. I would have liked to see him throw those hands, bro. He's got hands. Was able to tag Quillian Salkeld in his fight in the Contender Series against Evan Elder. Wasn't able to do anything. Just looked trash. Didn't look good. Didn't look like he was evolving whatsoever outside of the Contender Series. I guess he's going to go back to FAC and continue whatever the hell he's doing there. Next in the prelims, Matt Schnell versus Jimmy the Brick Flick, whatever. We had Matt Schnell as a lock. We did have KO as a very, very likely outcome. Jimmy Flick, man, doesn't really lose decisions all that often. Was getting tagged up late inside the third round by Matt Schnell. But the early takedown by Flick inside rounds, what was it, 2? Round 2, I think he got an early takedown, and Matt was kind of stuck there. Really, really good submission attempts from Matt. Good boxing. Looked good on the feet. Jimmy, again, this is a layup. This was literally a layup for Matt Schnell. If Matt Schnell lost this fight, it was pathetic. And Matt Schnell opened as a -240. Clearly, we all saw why he shouldn't have been a -240. He fell apart. He really didn't do too well when it came down the stretch. But Jimmy the Brick Flick, dude, I don't care. Jimmy, okay, Jimmy sucks. Jimmy's buns. Jimmy sucks. He really does. He's ass. He's really terrible. And the more I think about it, if Nate Maness couldn't finish him, Matt Schnell ain't finishing him, especially because Matt Schnell only has, 2 KOs? 2 TKOs in his career? One of them being in the GFA? Yeah, Jesus Christ. This was a terrible fight to watch, honestly. It was good because Matt Schnell was keeping it interesting with the submission attempts. Jimmy Flick attempted a head and arm triangle maybe once or twice. That was about it from him. Would have liked to see a little bit more from Flick, maybe. Especially because he is the grappling guy. Maybe force some more submission attempts. Nothing. It was a good win for Matt Schnell. Glad to see him back in the win column. Glad to see him out of retirement. Maybe a little bit hasty on the decision. But, I mean, we all saw that, right? So, I don't know how much longer he's going to be in the UFC for. We'll see what fight he gets next. Next on the prelims. Where's the start of the main card? Woo! Let's start the main card off. Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz. We're going Ikram Aliskerov, and it was pretty easy. I mean, like, Andre Muniz is 4-0 as a UFC underdog. It was a little bit worrisome when you did see Ikram not really, throwing as much as he did in other fights, but Ikram landed some left hook, dude, and had Andre like stunned. He was like, "Oh my god!" And he was against the cage and just kind of fell. He just fell, and just Ikram beat the shit out of him. Andre just gave up. There really is not much to talk about in this fight. It was just more of a pitter-patter fight. These guys were just throwing 1-2s. Ikram trying to cut off the cage, trying to read Muniz, trying to see what's up. And Andre really, could not do anything. He was cut off at every point. There was a good shot for him at one point where Ikram got tagged, but, it wasn't enough to rock him or anything. Andre went for a takedown, nothing there. Ikram just kind of beat the hell out of him. It was a really, really, realistically, it's a layup, again, for Ikram Aliskerov. He just lost to Robert Whittaker. They're trying to give him something. They're trying to give him something to get back in the win column. You give him Andre Muniz. Why not? You can give him the guy that lost to fucking Paul Craig by ground and pound. Yeah, sure. Fucking give it to him. Whatever. This guy sucks. Fucking push it in Ikram's face. Let's see if he gets him in the first round. 5 seconds to go. Gets him in the first round. Gets it done. Fantastic win for Ikram. But, again, not against high-level competition, and we'll see what happens next. Next on the main card, this one's a bit of a head-scratcher. Randy Rude Boy Brown against Nicholas Dalby. Now, I had Dalby plus 3.5. In the first round, Dalby gets his nose rearranged. You see in the picture there how his nose is leaning a little bit to the right? Yeah, it went the opposite way. It went to the left. Yeah, his nose got fucked up. Yeah, Dalby had his nose broken about halfway into the first round. Was still looking okay, but very obviously cardio compromised, getting tired very, very quickly. They reset it. You can see the blood piss out of it. Nasty stuff. But he goes into the second round, bro, and it just kind of looks like Dalby's at the point where he's going to fall apart. It just, and Randy's tagging him with a 1-1-2, hitting him on the nose, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, tags him with a right hook, got him wobbled, hits him with a what high kick or something. Dalby's against the cage, walks away, and then they get into this firefight, 1-2, and then push off, and almost exactly like fucking Vitor Petrino and Jacobs, what's his fucking name? Vitor Petrino, Dustin Jacoby, that's his name. Dustin Jacoby. It was also evident of Masvidal Usman. It was also evident of Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. Right hand, right on the fucking chin. Dalby goes out face first on the floor. And Randy wins. Crazy fucking knockout victory. Really, really good win for Randy Brown. Again, should be 5 in a row for the boy. Did think he took it down against Brian Battle. This wasn't an instance of betting against him. This was an instance of thinking that Nicholas Dalby was going to be able to take it through the decision and at least cover one round. Nicholas Dalby in the last 5 years of competition has only lost one fight via unanimous decision. I do believe it was against Peter Sabata, if I'm not mistaken. He was able to take, or Zach Cummings. It was one of those two, but the rest of the decisions that he had, he was able to take one round off a fighter. I took plus 3.5. It was even money. I Randy at a minus 3.5. It's a little bit tough, especially because he gets fucked over sometimes with fights because he doesn't look as good all the time. Dalby gets put out. I lose the bet. It is what it is. Fantastic win for Randy Brown. Unfortunate loss for Dalby. First knockout loss of his career. Back to the drawing board on that one. Next on the main card, the most boring fight of the evening, Abus Magomedov versus Michel Pereira. Abus was the pick. I believe maybe. Was he? Yeah, I think Abus was the pick. We did not pick Abus. We picked under 2.5 rounds. And once again, these two fucking just gas out. I hate this. Michel Pereira didn't throw for 2 rounds. Gets to the 3rd round, barely throws. Abus Magomedov never really let out the gas tank. Was worried about Michel Pereira the whole time. You could see it kind of. You could see him just kind of stressed out about what was going on with Pereira. Kind of stressed out with the whole flow of things, and you're kind of left with just an absolute shitter of a fight. Abus wins a long decision, 30-27 in my opinion. I believe it was 30-27 on the scorecards. Michel Pereira looks like shit. Clearly Fluffy Hernandez knocked something loose in this dude's brain because he looked like absolute trash. Never ever touch Michel Pereira again. Never bet on him. Never look at him. Never think he's going to win a fight because he won't. He won't win a fight. He's trash. His name's the Demolidor. Yeah, you're Demolidum. Fuck you. Abus Magomedov wins an easy decision, and Michel Pereira, again, looks like trash. Next on the main card, we had David Onama versus Giga, the Ninja Chikadze. I did have Giga Chikadze plus 3.5. It was a 29-28 decision for David Onama, but we did win that bet. David Onama, unfortunately, he just doesn't have the ability to deal with high-level kickboxers. This is very evident of that. He wasn't dealing well with the mix-up. Giga, whenever he was able to mix it up, he was cracking David bad, and David had to use the wrestling in order to win the fight. If David did not use his wrestling, he was going out. He was going to go out by the 2nd round. It was very clear of that. Giga looked really solid, looked really good. I was impressed with how well he did, especially at almost 37 years of age. He's kind of in the latter part of his career, and David Onama is one of these upcoming guys from Uganda that's just an absolute powerhouse. Hits guys like trucks. Did get dropped against Roberto Romero, which is why I was kind of thinking about picking Giga Chikadze this week, but you had to go with David Onama just because of how big he is. It's unfortunate that Giga missed weight. He has to pay 20% of his purse. It's unfortunate that he lost the fight, but he proved that he's still around. He proved very clearly that he's not going anywhere. He is still a dog. He's a Georgian absolute beast, okay? David Onama is a tough motherfucker. Giga Chikadze was able to make it tough, was able to hurt him, was able to have him dropped, basically. Giga was almost able to end the fight. Remember Giga Chikadze. He will be back. He will fight soon. He was a fantastic underdog this week. Just wasn't his time. David Onama did win unanimous decision. Fantastic win. Reminder, David Onama did lose to Nate Landwehr. Get ready for something that just gets David Onama cracked. I'm guessing he's going to get knocked out in his next fight or something, like by someone crazy. Next On the main card, co-main event of the evening, if you guys enjoyed this so far, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. We have Mingyang Zhang versus Anthony Lionheart Smith. This was Smith's retirement fight. A lot of people did not think Smith was going to go out on his shield. They thought that he was going to go out on his sword. They thought he was going to go out blazing. No, it happened. Mingyang Zhang, nice elbow on the top of the head of Anthony Smith, cut him open, leading to blood trickling down the eye. He couldn't really see anymore. Smith was getting tagged up bad. He did get dropped, or I don't know if he got dropped or just dragged to the ground, whatever it was. Smith kind of just covering up. There's way too much blood, man. There was so much blood in the octagon. It stained, like, everything. Like, everywhere. There was stains everywhere. The puddle of blood that was in the fucking octagon was ridiculous, too. It was absolutely wild. Fantastic win for Mingyang Zhang. While is it fantastic, though, you have possibly a future Hall of Famer in Anthony Smith. Again, people saying he's not a Hall of Famer. Bro was on the Ultimate Fighter 23, coming back to the UFC after getting kicked out of Strikeforce, okay? Going back, has a fucking crazy run, takes out Josh Neer after losing to him inside VFC, takes him out with elbows. He comes back to the UFC, starts fucking mauling dudes. Hector Lombard is screaming at him, telling him, hey, you remember my name yet? Hey, you remember my name yet? Fucking knocked him out. Oh, baby. Oh, say, can you see? He got fucking rocked, bro. I don't know. He had a generational run, okay? He fought John Jones. Arguably could have won the title. Could have just said, I'm hurt. I cannot continue this fight. If he said those words, I cannot continue the fight. If he said those 5 words, Anthony Lionheart Smith would have been your new light heavyweight champion of the world. That's a reminder. Jones kneed him in the fucking head. On the ground. It's illegal. It doesn't matter if it's a dumb rule or Smith's a pussy or whatever. It's the rule. Could have been champ. Didn't take it. Could have made millions. Didn't take it. Could have made so much money as champ. Didn't take it. Didn't want it. Lionheart. Absolute Lionheart. Mingyang Zhang takes him out inside the first round, but forever we will remember the name of Anthony Lionheart Smith. He will be in the broadcasting booth, I'm sure, at some point. A fantastic career, an unfortunate end, but Mingyang Zhang gets it done with flying colors. Next on the main event of the evening. Now, if you want to see the dumbest thing you've ever seen in your life, go back and watch what I bet. I said Ian Machado Garry by decision, but I think Carlos Prates by knockout is live. And then I switched and I was like, Carlos Prates, never mind. He's going to knock him out. Bro, what am I doing? Ian Machado Garry, easy decision. Carlos Prates couldn't get started. Ian Machado Garry, too good of a fighter, too good of a mix-up artist, too good everywhere. He's better than Carlos Prates everywhere. Literally everywhere. There is not one spot where Carlos Prates was better than Ian Machado Garry. There wasn't one point where... There was a point where Gary's hurt inside the 5th round, and Prates just fucking sits there. He had Machado fucking hurt. He tagged him bad. He had him on the ground, open to ground and pound. Nothing. Didn't throw a thing. Pathetic by Carlos Prates. Pathetic. Realistically, pathetic. I would have loved to see him fucking torch Garry. Did not happen. It's unfortunate. We will see him, I'm sure, soon again, but the Fighting Nerds get an L on the record. Ian Machado Garry improves. The future is real. He improves to 16-1, and Carlos Prates gets his first L in the UFC, and in the first L in 10 bouts, or what? 12 bouts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. First loss in 13 bouts. Jesus. It's a bad loss for Carlos Prates, man. You see a guy who goes in cocky, says he's gonna die in that octagon, and when it comes to the first 2 rounds, doesn't do anything. He just kind of laughs with Garry, kind of just dabs him up. Every time these guys are pitter-patting, they're dabbing each other up, laughing. You're in there for a brawl, bro. You're in there for a main event. You got to make a statement. That wasn't a statement. That was just that was a speech. It was barely a statement, if anything. Ian Machado Garry truly is the future, dude. This guy looks insane. Insane everywhere. Looks really solid on the ground, really solid in the air, really solid on his feet. Everywhere. This dude can do anything. This guy is ridiculous. His kicks are nasty. He's got spinning fucking calf kicks. Guy's ridiculous. That's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. This has been the recap and breakdown. Oops. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I'll talk to you guys all later. See you, I believe, tomorrow either for the YouTube video or Tuesday. Peace.